Medic!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Medic Up podcast. Here's part 2 with me and Katie Contreras and Dietrich, the skinny medic, sitting around talking on our rainy day ramblings. It was good to have Katie in town. We hope she comes back. Maybe next time we'll have a little more of a structure to the conversation, and we'll see what shakes loose then. But until then, don't forget to check out our sponsors, Fuel the Machine Apparel. Remember, Fuel the Machine Apparel is based on the idea of not just a brand, but a lifestyle. The crew at Fuel the Machine Apparel believes that you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. Fuel the Machine Apparel is pro-health, pro-first responder, and pro-military. First responder owned and operated, they are their own quality control, and all of their designs are created and printed in the USA. They have free shipping to the USA and to military addresses as well. Fuel the Machine Apparel. Be the solution, not the problem. Go check out Fuel the Machine Apparel at www.fuelthemachineapparel.com. Medical Gear Outfitters. Owned and operated by a paramedic, consequently, the skinny medic, who happens to be on this episode. He has a mission to equip individuals with top quality supplies, training, and the mindset they need to empower themselves to respond in an emergency. Medical Gear Outfitters has the equipment and the training you need to be ready. Head over to www.medicalgearoutfitters.com to check out their selection of pre-made first aid kits and trauma kits. If you're looking for a Stop the Bleed kit, Medical Gear Outfitters has you covered. Do you want to build your own kit? Medical Gear Outfitters has the bags, pouches, and supplies you need to build a purpose-built kit to your own specifications. Everything from an at-home family first aid kit for bumps, bruises, scrapes, and stings to individual first aid kits for first responders. Work kits, car kits, and larger kits for active violence and mass wounding events as well. Need something specific and you don't see it on the website? Contact Medical Gear Outfitters and let them help you get exactly what you need. Free shipping on all orders, and when you use the link in the show notes, you'll get 10% off when you visit www.medicalgearoutfitters.com. Remember, you never know when you'll be the first responder. Get the right gear and the right training. Medical Gear Outfitters.
So, some of your crews still work 24-hour shifts?
Some of them do, yes.
I'm going to ask this. This is what we've been looking at, is your patient care during a 24-hour shift. Do you see more issues with those crews having patient care issues because they've been working 24 hours? Or do you see it? What is your opinion on that?
Well, we don't a whole lot, simply because we don't have the call volume like Austin does.
Okay.
So they've done a bunch of studies up there and found that their crews actually work better on the Ep.20, the 12-hour shifts. So they're kind of moving a lot towards that. Mm-hmm. We do a modified school schedule, so you're either Monday, Wednesday, so you never work a Tuesday, Thursday, or you're Tuesday, Thursday, so you never work Monday, Wednesday. And then there's a third one that floats in between them.
What do you mean school schedule? So people can go to medic school? Mm-hmm. Oh my
so
God.
People can go to school.
What? What? Innovative is...
So, we have our own EMT program and in-house program. So
also innovative.
Nice.
We're hoping this will be our second class.
So does that come as a satellite program attached to the college? So you're co-A? Well, it's EMT, doesn't need co-A.
No, but they are associated with Texas State.
It's pretty awesome. So can they go? Will they get preference into the medic program if they come through like that?
Well, we don't have, because this one's with our San Marcos EMS, so they're totally separate than ACC. But we are hoping to have a paramedic program, I guess, maybe next year or in the fall, because this will be our second EMT class.
Who's driving that? Is that coming from your medical control, needs assessment, you guys as supervisors, or all of the above, or none of the above?
Kind of all of the above,
cool.
And wanting to be able to have people, because, you're doing essentially an interview anyway when you're doing your student ride-outs. But this way we're able to train them for EMT and kind of see what we want to come in. Not
to take away from anything you just said, but I started calling it ride-outs from you and Ginger saying that, and it sounds way cooler than clinicals or ride-along or paramedic ride time. I'm like, yeah, it's paramedic ride-outs now. Let's say that.
I like
it sounds way cooler.
We do clinicals for when they're in the ER.
Well, we call clinicals, clinicals in the ED, but paramedic ride time, I'm like, ride time. I'm like, no, dog, ride-outs. That sounds way cooler. So I'm stealing it.
Makes it fancy.
Yeah, no, cooler. It's not fancy. It's cooler. I'm stealing it, and I'm going to take total credit for it in South Carolina. So that's just me. But no, that's cool. That's cool that you guys are driving that. You keep your local people in local. You get them interested. Again, I always equate it to the drug game. You get them hooked. You're like, hey, EMT was pretty cool. How about medic? You would do intubations and drugs and defibrillate. And people are like, yeah, I'll give it a try. I mean, I was already here and you got me a job and this guy's pretty cool over here. And Katie did my checkoffs and she said I was a rock star. I was like, yeah, I'll go. I can go here and I can still work. Yeah, all right. I wish it's like perfect world for me. As everything I'm struggling. Like honestly, I lose sleep. I lose sleep trying to figure out how to market EMS. Because it's just, the kids aren't really that interested anymore. And I know it's a nationwide thing, but again, I'm local problem, local solution, and I just need people. I mean, the highest cohort I ever had was 25 people. And we graduated 22. And, now I'm down in the 12s and 13s and 11s. And, I mean, you get spoiled after a while, even though you walk into a room of 25 people and you're like, hey, can you guys let me get some of this oxygen? Because there's way more of you than me. And that's daunting. But at the same time, I'm like, ugh, man, there's only 9 of you. I really wish it was like 4. I like even numbers. Then we can make 3 groups of 4, and it'll work out instead of a group of 6, a group of 7. I'm like, it's not going to work. So
they don't have enough jobs.
Right.
That hurts.
Right.
Breaks my heart, like the CMS like that,
because you and me flocked to it because we were nerds and we're like, what's next? Where's my monitor?
Yes.
Can I ride up front instead of the back?
Yeah, I still enjoy riding code. Like, turn the siren on, like, I want to drive. Let's do it. Like, it's just, I'm like a little kid.
I don't. My hearing shot, so.
What'd you say?
Right. Yeah. Don't do it with the windows open for years before you know it's bad.
You're stupid.
Well, I'm the whacker. Back off, all right?
I remember, like,
my Batbelt was
arm hanging out the window.
Right.
Siren going. You're just smiling from ear to ear.
Right. How else are people going to know I'm having a good time if they can't see? Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Do you wear a Batbelt?
I don't.
Well, I mean, do you need to wear a Batbelt in the office? I don't.
We actually joke about it. I have my
Careful.
my
he wears a
vest
Batbelt,
too.
so just be very careful with your next words
So
here.
don't joke about that vest. But no, I have my vest.
What kind of
vehicle right now?
kind of vest?
My ballistic vest.
All right,
I actually have ceramic plates in it.
No. There's nothing wrong with that.
I carry it in my office now. People are like, well, are you going to give it away, or what are you going to do with it? I'm like, no, I'm going to wear it at my desk. Just because now.
So, I can see Rosario doing that, like sitting at his desk with
listen to me. Listen to me, all of you jerks. Number 1. First of all, have you watched the news? Students disgruntle very quickly. You know when they disgruntle? When you tell them they failed. Okay? Yes. So, for personal safety, you guys haven't seen it because I told you I give it to our admin office. It's really boring, all right? 3 doors down in our department head's office, under his desk, and I'm not making fun of him, I just don't have it in mind. In his desk, under his desk, he has a fully stocked M9 bag because he's a medic, and he's got body armor next to it. It's here just in case, okay? And not in my office, because it doesn't need to hang on the door, because it's always way closer. In every one of our offices, we have stopped the bleed kits. 2 tourniquets, 2 hemostatics, 4 chest seals, a cravat, just because they're indispensable, but no stick for it. Shut up.
Use your pen, it's fine.
Right, yeah, you can use your pen.
It worked out real well for that guy.
Okay, and, we're prepared. And then if you go in the car, my vest is in the car with my other crap. Okay.
You're like that Kenya guy? Not
the SAS dude? Dude, all day! You kidding me? I don't have all the other stuff. But again, if things happened on the campus, not just our room, we would be putting fingers in holes and stuffing gauze where it needed to go.
They're totally expected of you.
Yeah.
Now listen,
EMS department hit
on my Batbelt that I wear in normal ambulance. There's a tourniquet, but there's 2 in the pouch that sits clipped to my PPE pouch, and then there's the vest that's got an IFAC, and there's a tourniquet in the front that I can pull off quickly. And yeah, do you need that in your office? Maybe. All right, it's a tough world. All right, back off. And again, it cuts down on questions. Like people walk in, they're like, "Hey, what are you wearing that for?" I'll be like, "It's not important. Back up."
I tell people I keep snacks in it.
Yeah, well, I have a pouch for that. My radio pouch
Snickers
does that.
bar.
My radio pouch does that because I've got to wait till I get to the scene to put the radio in it. So it's got delicious snacks in it. Yeah, it's got snacks in it. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Batbelt. I mean, although there was a study just released that evidently there is a problem with the Batbelt. It causes hip problems and back problems, and you should wear like a mesh vest with suspenders now. And I'm like, I'm not wearing that.
Let's do it. Let's pull out the vests.
Dog, not those kind of vests. They're like load bearing vests. I don't want to wear that. If I'm gonna wear that, I'm just gonna wear my normal vest. But I don't wear my vest all the time on the ambulance. I only wear it when people are getting crazy, or we go out for crazy people, or person down, or staging calls, and then my partner looks at me funny. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Why aren't you doing it?"
It's still I think that's the way EMS is going to go. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you're going to start seeing that more and more. You see it. I like Live PD. I know you like Live PD too. So.
I don't watch it. I only watch a little bit of it.
So you'll see them the EMS people they'll have their vest on. It's still a little weird right now, but I think you're going to see that more and more.
I mean, it should be standard. I mean, it really shouldn't. But I take it to the extreme. You should be. I mean, I always agreed with my NAEMT plug here for the EMS safety class. You should be wearing helmets. You should be wearing helmets when you drop a truck. It sounds stupid, but you should be wearing helmets. You should be wearing helmets on your calls. We're probably one of the only EMS systems in the world that doesn't. Does it need to be ballistic? Does it need to be $600 Team Wendy helmets? Yes, it does. Okay, because if I'm going to wear it, it needs to A, look cool, 2, be functional. In that order. The functional is number 2. It's got to look cool. It's got to look cool. Or because, again, why don't people in America wear safety glasses? Because they look stupid, right? They're big, they're bulky, unless you go get good prescription ones. Right, but who wants to? Again,
I got a cool pair of safety glasses.
Well, but still, if you're a DMS director, logistics guy, you want to buy everybody a pair of $200 M frames? No, you don't. You want to buy them $2 Home Depot frames, and they're like, well, they're not going to lose them. They're going to not wear them because they wear them. They put them on, and they're like, well, it's not optically correct, and you're walking into walls and bumping into your partner because the sides are weird. And then what turns into, I'm going to write you up if you don't wear it. If you make it cool, people are like, I got this other pair. That was a running joke for a long time. I forced myself to wear my safety glasses on traumas. No matter what the call, even if it's, I fell and hurt my hip versus ass-sling and car wreck, I'll wear my glasses. And it's always been, but it's been from the instructor standpoint of if I run into a student, I want them to see, yes, he does wear his glasses when he tells us we should be wearing ours. So it's 2 roles, and it's very hard to force myself to put them on.
I wear my glasses anytime that I'm going to do airway management. I put my glasses on. I still have paramedics and EMTs who make fun of me.
Right.
What are you doing? I'm like, my mouth and face are close to this.
Right.
My eyes are close to that. Yeah,
right.
I like my eyes.
Do you put a mask on?
Huh?
Do you put a mask on?
It depends.
I don't.
I'm going to be honest.
It depends. I always forget.
If it's a nasty looking, you can already see there's vomit, puke in there, I'll throw a mask on. But if it's to clean the airway, I don't, being honest.
I'll forget. I mean, I'll do it. And I've only because I've had bad experiences with our old ones.
Fog it up?
Yep. Because I had when I was on FTO time, my corporal, she's like, gotta wear that mask. And I'm like, I'll wear it, fine. And the next innovation, we were outside, it was cold, it was December, dude coated, walking his dog in December, and I consciously put it on, the loops on, and I was breathing pretty heavy, and I was like, Argh! So I went to pull it off. She's like, don't take it off. And I was like, whatever. And it was our combo ones, so it had the shield on it. Yep. So I pulled the shield off of it, and I kept the piece. And then I did the tip, and she's like, I don't know if I got to write you up because it's not how I said, I had my glasses on. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
But I had a partner when I was at Greenville at night shift, he wore his safety glasses on. He had a nice pair of safety glasses. He wore on every call.
Yeah.
He would, as soon as we got out of the truck, he'd put his glasses on. I'm like, just didn't think anything about it.
That's super big in Australia. They just wear them. It's just part of the uniform. So, should be. There's no reason here. And again, that should translate over to your ballistic vest as well. So you said you got ceramic plates in them. So you got just plates or plates and backers?
Just plates.
All right, so it's not that bad, huh? So
no,
how heavy are your plates for your desk?
Yeah, for my desk. My super safe desk. I mean, you have to sign people off. They don't like failing.
I know.
I want to say it is 7 pounds total.
That's good.
Nice.
It's super light. It's light enough where I can wear it all day.
You don't mind it. You don't notice it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. But when I don't do my bat belt. I did when I first started, and I was like, all the millions.
Don't lie. And then people made fun of you, and you stopped. You put into peer pressure. Like people say, "What are you ever going to use that for?" And I'm like, I don't know. I always get the why do you carry 2 pairs of shears? Well, because you don't have one, and you're going to ask me for one, and I'm going to be using the other pair.
Because I donate my cheap ones to gross people.
Exactly.
If I do something gross, here you go. Those are your scissors now.
The scale shears.
I did always carry like the multi-tool because like it would never fail. Like
it's in there.
Someone would be like, "Hey, I need a pair of pliers."
O2 wrench, right?
Hold on.
O2 wrench isn't here. Oh, hey, here's the Leatherman. Here's the Gerber. Right. Always handcuff key, glove pouch, radio, tourniquet. What else is on there? I'm a fat guy, so it all fits. It doesn't matter. I'm fat. It's okay. I got plenty of real estate. And, I really need to, I need to take the IFAC off the vest. It honestly is in the way, and I don't think I need it, but I'm afraid if I take it off, it's inviting trouble. So.
You should switch to an ankle kit. That's all the rage right now, man.
What did I just say? I'm a fat guy. See my ankles? I don't dress like that.
Yeah.
I don't.
The ankle kit's all the rage right now.
Dog, I don't want to bend over to get my tourniquet. I don't.
You're going to be on the ground.
As you're moving off your ex.
Exactly. Katie's got it. She knows.
I'm going to trip because I'm bending over to grab the tourniquet in my self-administered NPA.
Awkward.
Now I feel like that because I have the radio strap, and I have a tourniquet on it. But now I feel like maybe I need an NPA on there too.
But like the fireman radio strap, that's not for us. That's for them. That's not us.
But she says she's a hose driver.
I know what she said.
Too.
But you shouldn't
keep that cert because Fire Academy sucked.
You can keep it. You get it forever, don't you? Like once you get it, it's forever.
We have to do CEs
it's Texas. That's right. Texas has their own credentialing field. Yeah. Not here. You could have taken it when you were 14, and then you're like, you know what? I'm pretty bored. I think I'll get back into firefighting, and you're like 90. And you're like, oh, you still got your card? Great.
No, we have to do CE yearly for it. I mean, it's only 20 hours or so, but yeah.
I don't know anything about that because, again, that building's on fire and I'm not going in. Not it. Well, actually, there's a lot. I have a piece of paper on the wall that says I will go in, and I did and was stupid. So
was that your write-up you did, or
no? Well, it should have been a write-up. The county saw it as, "Oh, you're a big hero." We were stupid. I was wearing my bat belt, but no firefighting protective garments. So it was stupid. Stupid. Another time, another place. Stupid. What else? What other cool? Texas is hot though. Like hotter than here. I don't.
They have good Mexican food though.
It sounds awesome. Like I want to go work there, but I don't want to live there.
The food's good.
Can I work like a month? Can I work like kind of do like a ride along for like a month, and then like I get bored really quickly, and then I'll just come back and be like, "Well, it's like an exchange program."
That would be cool.
Come here and teach. I tried to get you to teach pals the other day. You wouldn't.
No, ages.
It was a smart. It was a smart move. It was a smart move.
I enjoy like Stop the Bleed because I get to talk and.
Get to give information.
There's really no push play, right?
The push play, like I'm afraid that's what they're gonna do, but I'm like, please don't do that.
I like the Stop the Bleed and really just teaching people that want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those they're there voluntarily.
I love it.
I like people that want to learn.
I do too.
All of our other stuff are even my monthly CE and stuff. They know they're forced to be there, and it makes it really difficult.
What do you guys? How many hours do you guys do them all for?
No, they do. With us, they do 2, and then Fire does their own stuff. But they do 2 hours, but we do. So this week was San Marcos Fire, 2 classes a day. So they'll get, I told us 6 classes. And then next week, I'll be at our other 2 departments, fire departments. So that'll be another 6 classes.
That's cool. Sounds like a cool setup. So what's and you both teach it too. You guys are big TECC people too, right? Do you, Katie, do any T-CCC, or do you not make a delineation, or you just stay on the civilian end of it mainly?
I have done, I think, 1 or 2 T-CCC classes, but I find that I'm not on a tactical team, so I think you should probably stay in your lane and kind of teach what you're actively doing.
Right.
So even at Alert, I only teach in the medical block.
Right.
Because that's what I do. It's silly for me to be trying to teach.
Are you teaching that? Are you teaching that What was the name of it?
AAIR.
Air.
Are you teaching that?
What was
in
the
medical
format? It
section.
wasn't March. They changed it. What was the March?
Bro, bath. You got to bath it up, dog.
Bath assessment.
You got to
yes.
take that bath assessment.
I actually have bath in my Stop the Bleed thing.
All right, Katie, real quick, get out of my office.
Chris and I almost got kicked out of a class for that.
Yeah, we sure did.
Mostly Chris, but it was still funny.
I lost my shit big time. Twice.
Like, why reinvent the wheel? Like, why go to bath over March? Like, I just don't.
So I use it just on the civilian side.
Never mind.
Just
on the March.
Katie, get out of the office. Sorry to be a jerk. Get your hat back from her. Get your hat back. Give me my stuff back.
It's easy for the people who don't know, but I have it at the very end of my stuff, and I don't do it for all the classes I do.
We had a little problem with that. Not a little problem. It's all right. It caused some. I don't know. Russell Jimmy's, started that, but it got pretty. I don't want to get into alert. I don't want to get into it. It's not for us. It's not for us. It's meant for the fire department. That for like that course is
police officer
and the cops. It is
coming out of the academy. Like that's what it needs to be for.
If you don't have exposure,
it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But we got our own problems though. Even and the reason I asked, T.CCC versus TECC, before TECC was a thing through NAEMT and CTEC committee guys, don't yell at me. TCCC was hosted there, open source, and for 3 years, that was 2009, from 2009 to 2013, I took that course and I pared it down to only what my students needed, and I wanted them to have it before they hit the streets on their first job. TECC moved out in 2012, finally had a slide deck out there, and NAEMT picked it up and kind of bastardized it quite a bit, but made it just like they normally do, a 16-hour continuing ed course. But it was a lot easier to say, okay, now we're talking about what's going to affect you on a shiftly basis. And it doesn't need to be, I'm a big door kicker, I'm going in on high-risk warrants, I'm not TEMS guy, I'm doing hemorrhage control, I'm sealing chests, I'm packing wounds, I'm decompressing, and I'm surgical airways, which we don't do in South Carolina. But still, the knowledge was there. What do you find in people coming into that class? Do people think it's a 5-day TAC med course and they're going to be super operator by the end of it? Or do you have to I squash that in the first 5 minutes of my introduction? I don't even talk about who I am. I talk about what the course is not when I do it.
Yeah, it absolutely needs that because there's a lot of people, and they're all on Instagram, of course.
They sure are.
and they argue. But it's very much that we have one of my coworkers keeps asking me, well, when are you going to do the TCCC class? I want to apply to SWAT. I'm like, it's not how that works.
Right.
But they're just very, very convinced of it. It automatically makes you master of the medical universe.
Right. You hit all of those 18 subdisciplines and you're ready for medicine across the barricade and chemical agent negotiation and all of that stuff. K9's not in it. It's not. And I don't know if we've done it to ourselves or not. Marketing it is easy because when it started to pick up steam, I was getting called. Like I spoke Rescue Task Force at the symposium a couple years ago, and again, I figured 10 people are going to be in the room. Then there's 10 people. Out of those 10 people, 8 people are going to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And there were 150 people in the room. And at the end of it, it was, how do I start this tomorrow? Well, you don't start it tomorrow, number one. You need to start getting people to the table, and there's a lot more that goes into it. And again, I'm speaking on it, and we don't do that in this county. We don't do it. Like, it's not a thing. But it's the thing that we teach. Now, people in our county, different municipalities, Chris, can you come teach that course? Yes, I can. Sure. I'll be more than happy to help you. It's been successful. Municipalities are preparing on the fire and the law enforcement side, right? And they're doing a great job, and they can pre-plan because it's smaller than the big entity. And, cost is always a factor, but the fire department hits those AFG grants, and they've got PPE. NFPA 3000 comes out, Asher program, they've got ballistic vests and helmets falling off their engines.
Appreciate the support there.
Right.
Guys who bought those from me.
Right. Right.
Appreciate those fire departments that bought ballistic plates from me and carriers. And
I just ran into one of them one of my last shifts. And I was like, yeah, I remember when that happened. They're like, can you come do the class? And I was like, oh, didn't Dietrich want to do it? No.
Pushing all that on you.
No, and that's fine. And, I think we do a good job. The people who teach with me, I think we do a good job. And again, we don't sugarcoat it. We know where we're deficient. I used to hate spending time on patient movement, and now I focus on patient movement because everybody wants to do cool shit and stab people in the chest with a needle, but when you have a bunch of BLS or EMR firefighters who are like, we don't do that. I'm like, that's right. You're going to be Mongo, pick things up, put things down. You're going to be the guy coming in with a Skedco, and we're going to be dragging people out of the wall. So let's do it. Or you're going to be positioning people. So let's make sure you guys are doing it right.
The medicine's easy.
The skill set, the tech skill set it's nothing special. And T.CCC has gotten so far ahead now. Those guidelines are updated almost quarterly. TECC, CTEC meets twice a year. There's very little that changed. There's plenty of suggestions. There's no way on the civilian realm that we're going to be doing whole blood 1-to-1. It's like, line up the firefighters that we've typed and crossed everybody for low titer. In the barrow, and it's just not going to happen. T.CCC can talk about that all the time, and ketamine drips, mixing 750 of ketamine and 700 of ketamine in a 250 bag and Versed, and 6 hour anesthesia. We're not going to do that. Prolonged field care for us is the ambulance broke down on the way to the staging area to take our patient out of the CCP. We're not going to be 2 days stuck in the baby gap at the mall measuring urine output. It's good to be aware of, but when you got the firefighter, what do you want me to do next? I want you to put that guy on the carpet and get him out of here. Drag the carpet down the hallway, find the fire department, find the cops in the hallway, and do this. That's where we're at. And I have to constantly tailor the course because, again, medical direction. Why talk about ketamine if you don't carry it? I think I'll be like, all right, cool. We just added 25 more minutes into the class. Let's go back and do some more scenarios. Let's go do some more wound packing. We did it for an hour yesterday. Let's do it for 5 more minutes, and we'll put it in context. It gives me. I've been lucky the last 2 classes I've done for a department, like a department-wide training. But the entire second day has been it was a half-hour review in the morning, and then we talked, we took a test, they went to lunch and came back, and the entire afternoon for 5 hours has been nothing but field training exercise. And they have a blast. They're like, can I GoPro it? I'm like, I don't care. You paid for it. Do it. Go for it. And then they're like, can you come back? Can you help us with this? Can you help us? Who do we talk to? How do we get this done? The cops, man. Do you guys have cops in your classes? Like, do you have cops that take it with your EMTs or your medics?
At Alert we do, but not in our...
Dude, in tech. I wanted to build... I wanted to build...
We've offered free classes to the cops. We're like, hey, look, come take our... Like, we've got EMTs, paramedics. Come take the class for free, and we still struggle.
Right. Well, so this year, or last year, in 2018, I really wanted... I was tired of playing the security role as well as the evaluator. So we started asking friends of ours. They were like, hey, get a couple of your cop friends, put your uniform on, that you can get dirty, and we'll teach you free tech skills. But on day 2, you're going to be the cops who take them in to the scene. And they're like, it's free? I'm like, yep. You're going to get paid time off. You know they are. So whatever. You're getting paid to come to class one way or the other. Day 1, they sit. They learn how to plug holes and tighten tourniquets. They get the crowd pleaser shock factor of cutting a neck, which we're not even going to do, but they have fun. They learn NPA. Half of them are like, hey, these are in our kits. I never knew what to do with them, which is pretty cool. And, the second day, they get to wave guns around and yell and freak people out. And, we get role players. And then all of a sudden, it's a lot better when you see 5 cops in uniform who are like, all right, guys, we're going to go in. There's 20 people down, blah, 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 blah. Let's go. And they have a blast. And they're like, hey, the cops will go, when can you run this again? Or I've started to ask them to teach tactical movement. So So Dietrich and I, a few years ago, with the sheriff's department, we went over as EMS employees to do some rescue task force stuff, and it was kind of it was good exercise. We walked for 2.5 hours from room to room to room, fully kitted up for no reason, no medical stuff really being done, but it generated a laundry list of questions, stupid questions. Like we would ask, like we watch a lot of TV. Do you want me to hold your shoulder? Like squeeze your bicep, be like, dude, count me in as part of the team. Some people would be like, be great if you keep your fucking hands off me, because if your hands are on me, I can't move where I need to go. Other people are like, yeah, man, that's cool. Like, all right, like, hey, we're just walking. Do you want us to like do something while we're walking? They're like, yeah, you better be looking for people trying to face shoot me so I can face shoot them first. I'm like, okay. If we find somebody, do we say cool shit like on TV? Like, do we say contact right? He's like, just say, oh shit, and get out of my way. Or point somewhere and then duck down so you don't get shot. We're like, okay. And then they're like, hey, if you're putting tourniquets on, what do you want us to do? Like, what should we be focusing on? I was like, face shooting somebody trying to shoot me while I'm putting a tourniquet on would be great. Like, let me know he's coming. They're like, all right. I'm like, do you want me to, like, if we have more people, do you want me to hold pressure while you're doing it? I was like, it's up to you. I don't know. Like, both groups were like, I don't know. I felt stupid asking. And then the two of us, super paramedic competition guys, we got everything figured out. They put us in a stupid easy medical scenario. You walk up the steps. Oh, the guy's been shot. He's in the hallway. We own the hallway. We're killing bad guys. And we're like, all right, well, cool. We're just going to put our tourniquet on. And they're like, hey, stupids, maybe get out of the hallway. We're like, no, we thought you had everything handled. They're like, yeah, well, bullets come through walls all the time. We're like, oh, yeah, bullets come through walls all the time. All right, let's run it again. So we throw the guy in the room and we put it on. They're like, yeah, that's better. We're like, yeah, we were just seeing if you guys would see if we messed up and did stupid shit. And they're like, yeah,
you have a hall boss and a room boss.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's antiquated terms. So it's 1990 SWAT stuff.
But it was funny, like you already talking about that last class we did. You had a scenario where the patient needed a surgical crike, and the new little paramedic students were like, I don't know what to do. And, like, they left the room, and, like, one of the cops came in the corner. He's like, what's going on in here? And I'm like, I think this patient needs a surgical crike. And the cop was like, can I do it? Yep. So he slings his AR-15 to the side.
Was that Lauren? When we were at Greer?
No, it was here, Josh. Josh is the one that did it.
Okay.
So he slings his AR to the side, cuts up, and the students come around the corner like, what is the cop doing? I'm like, he's making you an airway.
Yeah. It was at our class, our students. Okay, so, yeah.
Chris, surgical crikes, this guy, Chris.
It was Chris. Yeah.
It was a Josh. Yeah, Chris. And inserts, and then now the paramedics are like, oh, guess we can transport our patient now. I'm like, yeah, because the cop took care of it for you.
And so you know what though? Now you don't know him. He's one of our friends. He started over on SWAT team where Dietrich lives. And he came over here to sheriff's, and he's a tracking guy now, a big bloodhound, Rusty the Bloodhound, is awesome. And Chris came to one of my earlier TCCC classes, and like our second day, we'd go to North American and do it. And he came to it with one of his buddies and had a blast. And he was 3 months out of it, and they ended up, some dude got shot, and he ended up putting a chest seal on. He was dead, but he put a chest seal on. So you get a text. It's like, I just used everything you told me. I'm like, dude, are you all right? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. Not the other guy. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. I'm like shaking. I'm like, oh, this is what you live for. You get these texts. But I was like, well, I'm glad you remembered it. And then he came back, and those guys loved it. And he's like, he's not anybody who's afraid to go do that. We had another guy. He came from Georgia. He came up and we taught him to crike. He was so motivated. He was a cop. And you probably see him on Instagram as well. But we had a role player, and it was a dark fire tower. We had a kid. It was like probably one of our EMT students, and he's like couldn't breathe. We had him all bloodied up on his face, but we had the crike trainer right next to him, but it was hidden and it's dark as shit. And I was like, kid's like, get me out of here, whatever. And then all of a sudden he can't breathe. He's like, and he's like, you okay? And I was like, looks like he stopped breathing, or he can't breathe through that. And he's like, I repositioned his airway. And he's like, I'm like, you don't hear nothing now. He's like, crike? I was like, yes, crike. And he looked at the kid and he moved the kid's hand. I was like, stop. I was like, there, do it on the floor. He's like, he was so motivated. He was like, put that.
Do it.
Got this.
I'll hold that scalpel. Again, crowd pleaser. You're not going to go do it. And if you do it, don't say Chris taught you to do that. So, we never met. But I mean, we're seeing that. There's tons of motivated people, but I mean, we work really hard. We change the scenarios because the new NAEMT scenario is supposed to be better. I paired a lot of stuff out of it, and it's hard, man. Stuff changes. Stuff is changing every day, and we're keeping up with the medicine. So, but I mean, I had good response. But then we see things like people saying and doing things they've added their own twist to it. You're like, man, that's really not what the guidelines say. Like, our class with NAEMT is so far removed from what NAEMT put out and closer to the CTEC guidelines that, you go to the meetings, you go or you attend online or whatever, and it just ends up being better. And, people are like, well, we want to focus on this. Well, why don't we focus on some basic stuff first, and we'll get to that. I think that's like a level 2 type class. Like, we'll get a lot of fire departments. What's next? I'm like, incident command. And then again, I know I said alert bad, but I'll refer them to that unified command stuff. And or even the air class, because the command, that was the most that we got out of that. The communications part of it, phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
In the different buildings and
phenomenal.
That was tough. In our alert class,
that was very different.
I got chosen to be the leader one time, and like we were in a fire truck. It's raining. Like a young lady sitting next to me, she's the cop commander. Like, I'm supposed to be EMS fire. I'm like, holy cow, this sucks. I can't see my crews. I can't talk to my crews. Like, keeping track of my crews like that. So we got the big whiteboard out. We're trying to draw pictures, like stick figures everywhere. Like, who's team 1? Where are they at? Like, why are they not moving? And it's tough.
I like that part of it.
It is. That's definitely
because it was very different.
But like you said earlier, like staying in your lane. Like I don't have any military prior experience. I am attached now to a little small tactical team, but like I don't really kick in doors. I don't do that kind of stuff. So, but they're again staying in my lane. Like, all right, this is how you wound pack.
I know
have
trauma
wound pack
care.
in the field. Right. I put tourniquets on the field.
Trauma care is trauma care.
And like so, these dudes come in who are super high speed, have done a lot of cool stuff across the world. Like, I had to talk to them, and then they're like, hey, what's the last call you ran? And like, I'm like, well, I took Grandma to the hospital.
Well, Granny broke her hip, and I did a good job holding her hand in a position of relative.
I think those guys that are super high speed like that respect it, and like they understand that I'm not getting in their lane. I don't care, but they also want to know what's going on in like my little world, and so it's cool to talk to them.
Yeah, so I have to start every class with, I don't kick doors, I don't wear special colored hats, and I know special people, but I don't do that. I don't do it at all. I don't do it at all. I'll teach you how to do it. I'll teach you how to do medicine all day. I'm good at that. Good at medicine. And I understand science, and, hemorrhage control is easy, which is ultimately what you're doing. You're just doing it in a very unsecure place, so. But I don't know if you get a lot of feedback after classes. I get a lot of people, Dietrich's heard it too, it's funny because some of the NAEMT slides are really misleading. It's like, one of the end ones is like, this can't be, it's a picture of the helicopter, and it's like, this has no place in the civilian environment. I was like, it's absolutely the civilian environment. Do this tomorrow. And we get people come back who are like, hey, I put a tourniquet on this week. It went so much better. Thanks for helping me with that. Or, I was able to use this assessment immediately when I walked out the door in normal trauma. Some guy dumped his motorcycle. And that's cool, which I hope translates to, I'd go into the mall on the active shooter job, and I kept thinking about, March assessments and how are we going to set up the CCP. It's obviously pretty well publicized. We had the Townville school shooting a couple of years ago. One of my students was one of the responders to that, and she messaged me. She's like, the entire way to the call, she's like, all I was thinking about was that T-C class. I was like, okay. I'm like, good. Hopefully it helps. Where do you go with it? Where do you go with that? So I'm glad you had it. Again, that was very validating. But it's also validating on, hey, I put a tourniquet on a guy trapped in a car, and the doc said this absolutely contributed to them being able to walk out of the hospital. So good stuff. So what are you seeing out there? Same stuff or?
Yeah, same stuff. So we actually when we first put tourniquets on the trucks, we did a whole lot more medical stuff. So we have several dialysis clinics, and a lot of them will wait until there's not any other option. Like the patient's so hypotensive that you have to put a tourniquet on him. So that's really where our first round of stuff was going. But since then, we've had people lose limbs to train and things like that. And our officers are actually really, really good about doing 2.
Really?
So,
wow.
On the last guy that I transported, he fell asleep on the train tracks and lost one below the knee.
Wow.
But by the time we got there, the officer already had 2 tourniquets on him, and they were starting to bandage the end of it.
Cool.
So, nice.
Very cool.
So more stuff like that.
We're seeing that here too. I see we get a tourniquet report every month, and because I nerd out over it. And when you look, I said, can we track who's putting them on? And we got that added to it. And cops put on, it was like a 3-month period. There were like 19 tourniquet applications, and like 14 of them were by the cops, and only two were by us, and 1 was by a bystander. I was like, okay, pretty cool. But you still push the training, obviously, but still, now it's, start stressing on, from the EMS side, evaluate the tourniquet placement in the application. Is it right? Does it need tweak? Does it need another one? So it's working. I mean, it's out there. It's not going to go away. Might as well, be interested in it and keep pushing it on people. So
I think people lied to us in paramedic school, EMT school, and said trauma was easy. Like, I remember, hearing that, trauma's easy.
It is easy. Cover the blood, go to the surgeon.
But there's so much more to it. We miss it. I'm like, come on.
Well, cover the blood, go to the surgeon, keep the patient warm, stop giving saline. Oh, gosh.
If you read the Instagram comments, trauma's not easy.
People
still screw it up all the time.
Maybe sometimes it's okay to leave that sucking chest wound as a sucking chest wound as long as they're hemodynamically stable. What else, God? What else? It's all of it, man. But cover the blood, go to the surgeon. Start there. I just dumb it down, right? Dumb it down. So, well, good deal. Good place to stop, because I don't know how to organically ever stop these, except, it was pretty much over when you said alert and
you make fun of your bat.
You don't wear a bat belt.
And your bat belt, yeah.
Just get out.
It's like being on the phone. I don't ever talk on my phone. I don't know why people call me. But
shouldn't
I
do that.
I don't know how to end phone calls now. I'm like, okay, so I don't have anything.
I just say see you bye and try and cut myself off by hitting the thing.
See, I never say bye. It's a bad habit. I don't say bye. All right.
Say bye. So, well, good. I'm glad you made it out. I hope you have a safe trip home and to cooler weather or less.
We're getting our tickets.
Yeah, you're gonna have weird. You won't have liquid precipitation. It'll just suck. So. But I'm glad you came out. Glad to finally meet you in person. Now I can say Katie Contreras is a friend from the internet and in real life. And I don't know. We should probably go to Texas. Their symposiums are better and alerts there.
Are you going to come to Selma this year?
I am. So I actually graduate from Columbia on the 3rd or the 4th. So the Saturday, and then the competition the Sunday.
Yes.
And then it starts. So I'll actually already be here for that.
Right. I don't know.
I'm excited. I'd really like to come over. Something happened. I couldn't come over and watch the competition last year, but I really want to watch it again. Those guys that compete, man, they're just phenomenal. I
want to go see if my water bottle's still up there. I lost it. I left it on the field. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was a fun time. We should have talked about that, but let's not. Yeah, it's never talked about.
It's all right. It was good. It was fun. It was very educational. I'm looking forward to some of this year. I really am. It's the first year I've been, so I don't want to go all week. But
when are they going to put the speaker list out? I want to see what I can go.
Classes.
Yeah, because I think I'm only going to be able to make it for a day. Probably it's either that Wednesday or Thursday just for the day. And I know the middle of the week is when they do the big meal at the end, which I hope doesn't cut down on the lecture stuff. But I'll get on. It's Charlotte. I can drive back and forth. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we have anything going on here. So
crazy states you can drive between them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You can make it across this entire state in 3 hours.
Yeah, Charlotte's not that far from here. Where's that? You could be there in an hour.
Hour and 15 minutes. No problem. To the convention center. Yeah. So, well, good. Thanks for coming. Have a safe trip back. If you're out here, let's do it again in Soma. We'll have the Underground podcast. It would be us, and we get Carrie. It'll be pretty cool.
All the Instagram.
Yeah, all the
people.
Instagram people. All the people I always want to meet, like, in person and be like, I'm super intimidated by you, like, Paul Luce. Like, be like, God, you're smart as shit. I'm jealous of everything you've done. Can you sign my tourniquet? All right. Well, cool. Well, good. Thank you, guys. Good Friday afternoon. Shitty weather. Good podcast, though. So, here we are.